Well, reporting from Doha, Qatar, great news for the U.S. men's national team. They've advanced out of Group B at the World Cup following a stressful 1-0 win over Iran here at Al Thumana Stadium. And they move on to the round of 16, where the opponents will be the Netherlands, the Group A winner. So it's the first knockout game for the U.S. men since 2014. Jurgen Klinsmann led the way. He was in charge. And it was Klinsmann who sort of stoked a fire ahead of this game. When on a BBC studio commentary setup, he made what Carlos Queiroz and the Iranian Federation, Queiroz, the head coach of Iran, were disparaging comments towards the culture of Iran. But current coach Greg Berhalter and captain Tyler Adams, they did a great job of handling some difficult questions, tense, surreal. A very odd press conference yesterday with a lot of questions about this. And they had their group ready tonight. Serginho Dest, probably the man of the match in the first half. He nodded a head ball down into the path of Christian Pulisic, who burst on goal and then buried it from close range. That was in the 38th minute, a half where Iran, whose solid victory over Wales leading into this, led them pretty confident about trying to advance for the first time in their history. But they had nary a shot over the first 45 minutes. In fact, they didn't get their first shot till minute number 52. Now, Pulisic, he was hurt on that collision when he was scoring a goal, and he made it through the rest of the half. But it was Brendan Aronson, the Philadelphia native, the South Jersey, who went on to play for the Philadelphia Union native. He came in to start the second half. Cameron Carter-Vickers was one of two changes for Greg Berhalter in his starting 11. Carter-Vickers, he came in for Walker Zimmerman. A bit of a surprise there. But up top, Josh Sargent flip-flopping with Haji Wright. So Sargent starting 2 of the 3 matches in the group stage. And despite their dominance in that first half, the U.S. still only led 1-0. Iran only managed 3 shots on the game, none on frame. So this historic victory for the U.S., who have only won 6 games in their World Cup history. They've had the pair of draws against Wales and England coming into this. And then Matt Turner, a guy who at the very end of the match in stoppage time, the ball slipped between his legs, and Walker Zimmerman, a second half substitute, cleared the ball before it crossed the line. Zimmerman came in, Greg Berhalter going to a back 5 to try to lock this thing down, and a fairly near disaster near the end of the match, because a draw would not have served the U.S. well. Iran, with a draw, advanced. The U.S. needed a win, and they got the 3 points for Turner, his second consecutive clean sheet. He's one of 5 keepers in the history of the U.S. men who have gotten shutouts, 4 of them, including Turner from Park Ridge from New Jersey. So England defeating Wales tonight to finish atop Group B, but the Americans, you know how well they did against England, get the win tonight, so they'll be feeling good going up against the Netherlands. Just a couple of notes. Yunus Musa celebrating his 20th birthday, starting in the midfield for his 3rd consecutive game. Only one other player has ever started a game on their birthday in World Cup history. The U.S. fielding their youngest team since 1990. And that was the year where the 3 games played, a majority of the kids on the field were college kids. Tonight's average age for the starting 11, 24 years old, 321 days. Every player who started tonight represents a European club team. That's never happened in the history of the U.S. men's national team, who are now 1-1-1 all time against Iran and 1-1 in World Cup play. And the Netherlands, well, that's what's next. December 3rd, this Saturday. And Cody Gakpo, that's the name to remember. 3 goals in 3 matches for the Netherlands, who defeated Senegal, tied Ecuador, and topped Qatar. Well, that'll do it for me. And a wonderful night here for the U.S. A lot of hugs at the end. A really stress-filled week. There was some political significance to this game. The U.S. comes out on top. And now it's on to play the Netherlands December the 3rd.